afternoon, YouTube pipers, YTPC out there. It's been a few days, just get my cough out of my chest. It's almost gone now, I'm pleased to say. So for a long time I wanted to update you on my Peterson collection, because you know I'm a big fan of Sherlock Holmes, and they have a lot of lovely models of Peterson pipes. So I collected what I have here, and maybe it was 12 pipes, and I've got 3 or 4 in the other place, but most of them are similar models that I will show you. And the last 2 or 3 years under Loud Easy, they've improved the quality and the drilling especially, so I'm very happy with all the Peterson pipes I've collected. And on this occasion I'm smoking the Watson pipe, which is a kind of a chunky guy, and maybe slightly less popular, and was on sale, and got it for 100, you know. And it's a lot of chunk of briar which controls the heat and moisture, so it's a lovely pipe to smoke, a 9mm P-lip. And in it I have some Wilkie 515. Just ordered a whole pound, and it's on its way to me, so keeping my reserves deep. It's a lovely, really a lovely aromatic, not over powerful, but sophisticated, and would fit Sherlock Holmes very well. Talking of Sherlock Holmes, of course, it was the Wilkie 515 was Rathbone's favourite, and here in my torso I've got Basil Rathbone. Ta-da! Don't worry, it's only a t-shirt, you know. It's one of those places you can send an image or photo and they'll put it on the t-shirt. So I found one of these inserts which some reason it loses its gas when it's in the Zippo. I can't work out why it is. So I just use it like that, you know. Why not? Anyway, here's my growing Peterson collection. Still not very large, but maybe 5% of my pipes. But I'm still looking for new Sherlock Holmes pipes that I don't have. And one is on the way. It's not a Peterson, but I'll show that in another video. Here is what I have at the moment. So, my dear friends, I wanted to show my collection of Peterson pipes. I've got 12 here in the location where I'm at the moment, and I've got at least 3 more in southern Switzerland, but the models are represented here, so you get a impression of my collection of Petersons. They're all silver band pipes. I've got 1 or 2 without silver bands in the other location, but I wanted to show you. Top left we have the Rathbones. So beautiful pipes. I just love the stem and the proportions of this, and the deep bowl. This is a deep rusticated version with a P-lip, which is very good to help prevent tongue bite if you're prone to that. Definitely they help. It's not a perfect cure, but it helps. And these are vulcanite stems, beautifully elegant. It's one of my favorite shapes at the moment. I got also this one, which was described as rusticated, but it almost looks, if you look at the pattern, it's almost sandblast, I would say. Maybe it's a mix, I don't know. It was on special offer, about $100, so it was a good buy. Just love the shape, and that's very Basil Rathbone. He had very similar pipes in his films in the 1940s. And here we have the smooth finish. This is always a little bit more expensive, with a nice grain. Also beautiful and very elegant P-lip and everything. Fantastic. So I got a few other models. This is the Handsome, like the Handsome cap, you know, very deep bowl, and very aggressive rustication with this quadrat style of the stem. Very lovely. It's also P-lip. Also wonderful. They all smoke very well. They don't gurgle. With relatively damp blends or flakes. And the drilling, I think, in the last 2 or 3 years, Laodicea has taken over the factory, and they're much more reliable with the a good drilling, you know. You see, this is a pretty good drilling, and they're all like that. So that's the Handsome, and I got another sandblast here. This is the Professor. You see this lovely sandblast, and it's got this terracotta kind of stain, for dark terracotta, but sort of the reddish hue, and this is really wonderful. And again, it's a huge bowl, so, and P-lip as well. So that's the Professor. And I got this Watson one that was special offer because they're not so popular, I think, with they look a bit sort of stubby, don't they? But that was Watson versus Sherlock Holmes, who was tall and willowy and elegant, and Watson was also the stocky guy, but useful in a fight and very good with his pistol. So I got one of these, and it's a very thick wall, of course. That's nice. So if you've got a hot blending tobacco to control, it's always useful to have a bit of a thicker wall. Now, this Sherlock Holmes original was my first pipe, or one of my very first pipes, and that's smooth. Of course, again, you have wonderful wonderful grain. And it's just a lovely pipe, especially with Peterson's Sherlock Holmes blend, which is a very good aromatic. And I got a second one, which the Sandblast here, again terracotta, and that's a lovely, lovely pipe. But it's a bit thicker here compared to the Rathbone, and I still like the Rathbone slightly more, but they're still very similar. So I got, of course, a Dracula pipe. This is the one with the black finish and the lovely stems, I think. And this one is 9mm. I've got two of those, so the other place is that one of the pipes is this one, and I love to smoke them at Halloween, of course, or in winter as well. I took this to London and was walking around Trafalgar Square, and everyone was asking me, wow, where did that pipe come from? And are you a vampire, you know? A lot earlier in James Fox, I bought this one Dracula smooth finish, but this was unfiltered. I'm still considering that I'll drill it for 6mm, or maybe I'll just use it as it is with a Sharrow pad, because I've got a few unfiltered pipes, and with the right blend and a Sharrow pad, you know, I don't really have a problem to smoke them as well as they are. And last but not least, I've got a couple of Princes. This one is a silver spigot, which is a Newgrange model in the Prince shape. Lovely sort of Cumberland finish on the stem, and I've always liked Princes as well. And with this spigot, this is 9mm. It's a lovely smoker, this one. And an unsmoked St. Patrick's Day Peterson, which I bought for smoking, of course, Patrick's Day, and look at the lovely green stain. 408 is the Prince model number for Peterson, and it's of course a silver collar there. Maybe this year in St. Patrick's Day I'll smoke this. We'll see. It's 9mm as well. Lovely pipe. I think they're really good value for money. In the last 2 or 3 years, it's really a nice quality that they offer for the price, and always coming up with new models. Made in Ireland, of course. So that's the collection. Well, that's what I call a good start, but you know, I know many of you have many more Petersons than I have. Vlad the Inhaler, he has a huge collection of Dracula Peterson pipes. I'll leave a link in the bucket. Well, finally, I got a tin of Granger, which is all jarred up now, but I smoked like 5 or 6 bowls of this Granger just to compare it with my standard Burley is Prince Albert, and it's a bit of a spoiler on a review, but basically it's very nice, but Prince Albert has a little bit more flavour, and there's a tinge of harshness here, very low level. It doesn't really spoil your smoke, and but I notice it. So would I buy it again? Probably not. I love the tin, you know. I'm a sucker for tin art, and in America you still have these unspoiled with not much of warnings on them. So I'll decorate my Shed of Serenity with this container, and I'll use it probably to mix stronger blends and mild them out because it's low nicotine, you know. So it's always useful to have very mild burleys or tobaccos that are low nic, and you can mix them in with something which is your edge of your comfort zone with nicotine or the strength of the flavour. So it'll be well used. Do you like to feed the birds? I always do that in winter. I feel sorry for them, and now we've got the minus 5 to 10 degrees in the night, and we had snow, and more snow is coming, and I always put lots of seeds and hangers with nuts and things on the couple of trees in our garden, and sometimes I'll watch them for 20 minutes where they feed, and you know, and who shows up, the robin or the blackbird or the, you know, always a lot of sparrows, a lot of blue tits and things like that. You know, it's always interesting to watch the birds. And it reminded me of that song from Mary Poppins with Julie Andrews, the early 60s version of Mary Poppins, and it's a wonderful, wonderful film, especially for children as a musical. It's just absolutely fantastic. And I'll end this video with that sentiment, and if you have a chance, don't forget to feed the birds. Cheers everyone, look after yourselves, until next time.
Feed the birds, twopence a bag, twopence, twopence, twopence a bag. Feed the birds, that's what she cries, while overhead her birds fill the skies. All around the cathedral the saints and apostles look down as she sells her wares. Although you can't see it, you know they are smiling each time someone shows that he cares. Though her words are simple and few, listen, listen, she's calling to you.